welcome to the Maine Basketball Rankings Podcast. I am your host, basketball data nerd Lucas McNelly. Today on the show, we are going through the boys regions, all 10 of them. We're going to see who's in, who's out, who's got work to do, who's going to be the 1 seed, who's going to be the 8 seed, all that jazz. Jay Baines is here. We already did the first half if you haven't checked that out yet with the girls. And today we're finishing up with the boys. Today's episode of the Maine Basketball Rankings Podcast is brought to you by Vertical Raise, one of the largest fundraising platforms in the country, now proudly helping teams, clubs, and programs across Maine. With Vertical Raise, your program can raise more money in less time. No selling, no collecting, just results, from new uniforms and better equipment to tournament trips and every fundraising need in between. Vertical Raise has a variety of campaigns to make it happen. Your Maine reps, Christie and DChase, are both coaches who know what it takes to run a great program at any sport, club, or grade level, and they understand how important fundraising is to making it happen. Schedule a call or email today and see how Vertical Raise can take your fundraising to the next level. All right, real quick, because I am recording this, it is now 11:47 at night. I have not started importing scores, really, so it's going to be a very long night. I just finished recording with Jay. Lots of great stuff. If you don't already subscribe to the website to get the tourney odds, it's $6 a month. The tourney odds are going to tell you how high your team can get in the standings, how low they can fall in the standings, what their most likely seeding is in the standings, all that good stuff. Plus the better heel points that are easier to read and much less stressful to try to navigate. Plus the newsletter, all sorts of stuff. So make sure you're subscribing to mainbasketballrankings.com. And it makes it possible to do all this stuff and for me to be up at nearly midnight on a Thursday trying to figure all this stuff out. And also make sure you subscribe wherever you're listening. If you're on Facebook, give it a like, share this. If you're on YouTube, like and subscribe, all that stuff. Let's go immediately to my conversation with Jay Baines. Okay, Jay Baines is back. We are both freshly from basketball games, heavily caffeinated, a little bit tired, a little bit on edge. How's it going?
It's going well. I'm not caffeinated, so we're going to see what happens. But I can't do caffeine after like 5, or I'll just be up for 9 years. So it is what it is. Late nights all week. What are we doing?
All week, all month. What are you talking about all week?
Well, I mean, tomorrow night's a little better. There's not much going on.
No, it's not. It's not for you, maybe. I have the issue where I have to be at work at 8 in the morning. And so then I need the caffeine, drinking this disgusting thing, energy drink.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor. That has 300 milligrams of caffeine, a bunch of other nonsense. I have to caffeinate myself heavily in order to get the newsletter done and stay awake long enough to get all the scores in and everything updated and write the newsletter. And then I have to knock myself out so that I can get 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night. So,
big fan of magnesium.
Magnesium? Okay.
Yeah, I changed to that over melatonin.
It's awesome. I have magnesium somewhere, I think, for like leg cramps. Maybe I'll try that. What also works is whiskey.
Yep. Well, some people are trying dry January. Emphasis on trying.
I think I would maybe be more likely to try dry January if it was not basketball season.
Right.
You know, how many coaches do you think get talked into dry January, and how long do you think they make it?
Well, there's 130 schools?
Yeah, something like that.
Let's subtract the Christian schools. And
sure.
No, I don't know. God, I don't know. I'm not going there. Yeah.
It's, it's a small number, let's say. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So we're doing the boys, tourney odds, heel points thing. We have just gotten home. I've seen like 6 scores from today. So we're not don't have a full picture of what's going on because we don't have updated heel points that include the games, and they'll be updated by the time people see this in the morning, assuming I don't fall asleep and get it updated and everything. So anyway, that's the caveat there. Do you want to talk about the game you went to, or do you want to do that when we get to that region?
I'll kind of preface it. I mean, we had on Ticket TV tonight, we had Mananoka at Orono boys. Now Orono is still without Brady Hughes. Okay. They haven't been totally healthy pretty much all year. Matt Allen missed the first probably month of the season after I think it was a hand injury that he sustained as a soccer keeper, and you really couldn't tell. But he was out kind of like that first month, and I've seen him play twice in the past week, and they haven't had him either time. It sounds like he might be back in the next week or so. Their schedule kind of picks up a little bit, but at one point, MA was up 40-23 mid third quarter, and then Orno went on a 21-2 run to go up 44-42 in the fourth, and MA finished things out, kind of capped things off with 11-0 run to wrap it up to go 55-44 with a still a point-worthy win. Bangor, wow. Orno, I believe, drops to 6-5, but they're gonna hang in there once they're totally healthy. I mean, that's a Cinderella pick, for next month for sure, especially in that 6 to 7 range. Fort Kent's not going to want. I think MA won't want them. Caribou won't want them. Any of those top four expected who are going to fall in the top four. We'll get to that later, but yeah, that's a bad draw. Orno in February, regardless. So
yeah, but they held Matt Knockhook to under 115, so that's good.
That is true. I mean, yeah, they were 6 points shy of that. Yeah, but it kind of, was at Orno's pace. And, they have two freshmen in Mitchell, and I'm going to remember the other LaBelle, who are kind of filling or getting a ton of minutes in Brady Hughes' absence. They're going to be really good. They're going to be really good in the next couple of years. And creates your depth, come February, which,
yeah.
So, but then again, a lot of coaches may shorten the bench. They kind of have that luxury of a bunch of players with meaningful varsity minutes. Going into third week. So, yeah, we'll see. But that's a scary team right there. They're going to be sit there. It's a bad draw. Bad draw.
I'm a big believer in getting your bench some meaningful varsity minutes during the regular season, because you don't know what you've got there until they're in the fire.
Right.
They might look good in practice, they might look bad in practice, or whatever. And sometimes you get a kid under the bright lights with all the fans, and it clicks, and then you go, "Oh, hey, look at that!"
Right.
Look what we got here.
Mm-hmm. And just a spark plug off the bench too. I'm just like, how often do you see, that underclassmen come off the bench second quarter, they hit 2 big threes, and like, here we go. But when you have that secondary scoring off the bench, it pays dividends.
Yeah. All right. I went to Coney McDomick, which we'll get to in a bit. You want to start? You want to go to the regions?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's try to not be up until 3 a.m.
Sure.
I'll be up until 3 a.m. I see no way around that. Okay. S South. Valley, Harry Lewis and Fisher, Tewksbury, and Valley are 11-1. Pine Tree's 9-1. I did see they beat Forest Hills tonight. Forest Hills is 9-3. Islesboro, Temple, Vinyl Haven, Rangeley. Everybody gets in here. And even Greenville, who I have in the wins draft as I missed the playoffs pick, and that is not going well for me. They're like single-handedly going to cost me the wins draft, I think.
Valley and Pine Tree, do they?
I don't know a lot about Pine Tree.
I don't think anyone. So they lost they lost the first time at home to Valley, 82-61. They do meet. It looks like the end of the regular season, February 3rd, in Bingham. So
interesting.
But you look at the disparity. I mean, yeah, 9-1, but look at the heels. I mean, Valley's sitting there in the 60s, Pine Tree's in the 20s. So, but obviously that Forest Hills win tonight
will do a lot for them.
Will have a little bit of separation. Forest Hills, they still have Carabec, Alsboro, sitting there at 5-3. They're worth a little bit more than a normal 5-win team, just because they might play 14, 15 games. So
it's a real question on that Islesboro schedule if what's real and what's not real, and those I've got 2 missing games and only 15 games on the schedule, and if you put a gun to my head, I don't know how accurate that is.
Right. So we'll see.
It's always a moving target with the island teams.
That and what you would think would be the source of truth with the MPA site. There's a lot of schedule issues going on there too, which it poses a problem just because the preliminary index is tied to it.
And
So
I was thinking about this, let's say yesterday. The issue with the preliminary index not being on the MPA site is the preliminary index is the best way to check your work.
right.
You know, like if you're going through and I'll like go at the end of the season and I'll check my heel points against the MPA's heel points because sometimes there's a disparity. Sometimes I have a score flipped. I have something wrong. Sometimes the MPA has something wrong. And I want to make sure those numbers match up. And if you're looking at the tournament index and you're like, say, you're looking at Mount View and Mount View's tournament index is like 3 off of what the other place has, you got to go looking at a bunch of different places to see where those 3 points are coming from. And it might be coming from a couple different places. But the preliminary index, if the preliminary index matches, then you're probably fine.
Right. And, I think there was confusion at the beginning of the year. It was like, how much is each win worth? Is A worth 42? Now A is worth 40 and they go down.
A is 40.
Now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
S is 32.
Yeah. So it's like 8v8 soccer. It's the same premise. But
okay.
Yeah. So Forest Hill's sitting there at 9-3. Obviously they're gonna be a little more comfortable in that 3 spot after the loss tonight. But
yeah, I think they're probably. Let's pull up the turning odds. They might be pretty locked in there, or at least that might be their floor.
Yeah, and
they could have dropped. They could have dropped to 4. They had a 14.5% chance to drop to 4, and that's Pine Tree. Yeah, Pine Tree did beat them today, so I think Islesboro would have to run the table, and who knows.
I look at all these teams, and I realize this might be one of the few regions I've actually never been to any of these schools.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so we were going to talk about this before. We talked about this offline. Yeah. How many did you make a list of how many schools can you? Because I was thinking about this as I was driving to Mount Ararat, and I was like, I wonder how many schools I could get to without any directions. And I'm talking no directions. Not like I know that I have to turn here somewhere, and I'm pretty sure I'll see it. I'll know it when I see it. But like dead on, you could tell someone else how to get there, and they would 100% get there all the time. The irony of this is I missed the turn to Mount Ararat while I was doing this exercise, which I 100% know how to get to. But I was just like, I drove by it and I went, oh, that was the turn. Oh, look what I did there. Because I wasn't paying attention.
So my list,
yours is going to be longer than mine.
Well, it doesn't fit the parameters of that. I don't necessarily think that every single person would understand if I gave them directions.
Okay. But you don't need GPS or a map or to look it up ahead of time. You can just get there.
Yep.
Okay. How many? How many was it? I didn't.
I want you to
down.
Guess.
Okay, so you have the advantage of reffing because you'll go to a bunch of these schools a bunch of times.
And my day job.
And your day job.
I do roads for day job. So
yeah, you do roads for day job, and you didn't live in Pennsylvania for 15 years.
True.
Like I did. And there's more schools around you than there are here. So I forgot to write down my list. I'm gonna go with 45.
No.
I'm starting to write down my list here.
Yeah,
no, not 45.
I had 68 on my list.
68. Wow, that's pretty good.
Now, granted, a lot of that is, I think I have a pretty good grasp of how many schools are on Route 1. And if I can get to Route 1, pretty much I can get to it. Yeah. So that's like most of the county.
Yep.
Or things down east, and even going through down east. I mean, stuff like that. So
with that, like, I know generally how to get to Belfast, and I'm just not 100% sure where the exit is, like which of the exits it is. You know what I mean?
Well,
like
if you're for a while,
from me, like for a while, I would know 99% of how to get to the expo, and then I would always, when I got close, I would second guess. I'm like, is it exit 6A or is it exit 6B?
Yeah,
that sort of thing.
Yeah, but but like most of the stuff, like along the interstate, that's easy. If it's within 5 minutes of the interstate, you can get to it. Like all of A North is easy. It's anything in our area. It's pretty simple for me. But could you ask me to go find without a GPS to get to Buckfield? Absolutely not.
You could probably figure out Vinyl Haven. I'm going to count Vinyl Haven, even though I've never been there, because I can get to the ferry.
Does that count? Okay. You know what? I'm adding that. Okay. I'm going to add the 3 schools. But then again, you get to the island, then what?
Yeah. Well, there's only like 2 roads, so.
Someone's going to have to pick me up because I'm not taking the car over.
That's good.
All right, I'm not counting those.
Okay.
But, I get 68. I think the southernmost school I could figure out would be like TA. But TA's right on Route 1 in Saco.
But I've never been to TA. I don't even know. I have the first idea where that is.
Yeah. Well, if you go to Saco and get to Route 1, you'll find it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm probably missing some on my list here.
Right. Like if you went to Fort Kent, you'll pass it on your way in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, stuff like that.
Yeah. But then see, then
I say,
I think I could find Southern Heuristic.
That's tough.
Is it tough?
Yeah, because it's Dyer Brook. It's not like right
off
the highway.
I know Dyer Brook.
Yeah.
I don't know where the school is, but I can find it.
I would need help with that. So, like, I'll give you an example. Like Presque Isle, the side streets, okay? I always mess them up.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, especially if I go the back way, like, okay, now it's turning into a Aroostook County podcast. If I get off Route 1 on the Center Line Road and go up, which eventually goes, you know, straight to Route 10, which connects to Easton, then I follow that, then I can get my way in. If I'm going from Route 1, I can't figure it out. Oh, yeah. So
I've got 14 on my list, that seems bad. But like a lot of like Nokomis, it's like I have a vague idea where Nokomis is, but I'm not sure. Like some of the middle, you know, some of those like Messalonsky. I know I know where it is kind of.
Right. Like, well, the problem is like for Nokomis, it's hell to get to the interstate.
Right. That's the tricky part.
Right.
It's just trying to remember what's. You know, I'm trying to remember but like Brunswick, I've been to a bunch of times, and I know Brunswick is over by the running store, by that stretch of Brunswick. But then I'm like, what is the road? I know I have to go in that direction, and then
I past Odin and go to right at the fork.
Yeah, and then I'm like, and then I just quit and pull it up on my GPS so I don't get lost.
Yep.
But yeah, I've got my list. I'm probably missing one. I've got Madomic, Lincoln Academy, Oceanside, Camden, Mount Ararat, the Civic Center, the Expo. I'm counting those. Erskine, Gardner, Coney, Mount View, Vinyl Haven, Morse, and Freeport. And I'm probably missing something in the middle there. That's Wiscasset. I had to get Wiscasset.
I have to add the Civic Center, the Expo, and the rink. So I'm up to 71 now. So I didn't count those initially.
The rink, I don't remember which exit it is. Getting off of
7.
95. Is it 7? Okay.
7 Franklin Street.
One of those things. And I don't know how to get to the cross in Bangor entirely. I know it's right off the interstate.
Once you get to Hamden.
Yeah, and I don't know how to get to Hamden. I've been to Hamden a couple times, and I just don't. It's just like there's roads up there. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I grew up a mile away from that, so it's
right.
So
yeah. And like I grew up a mile from Madomic, but that's super easy because it's just on Route 1.
Yep.
All right, so let's move on to S. People are already like enough with these two. All right, let's go to S.
They keep listening. They keep listening.
They keep listening. I will say I want to thank the person who, the day after we recorded I think it was the next day for the girls' part, I was not even in the building yet at Oceanside, and someone came up to me. I think it was Reed Robichaux's father. Apologies if it's not. Came up to me and said nice things about the podcast, which is appreciated.
I got feedback and a correction.
Oh, you got that's right. You have a correction. Yeah. So let's do your correction. This is a very serious, very important correction.
Yes, this is very, very important. I want to apologize to everyone in the Howland community. I've been informed by Riley Moulton herself that she did not lose that coin toss. So I apologize to her. And she did remind me of another story. I had the game earlier this year when they played Fort Kent, and I had asked the Fort Kent captains, call it, and they heads and tails. They got it wrong. I literally just said wrong and just turned the other way for choice. So apologize. Very important. Yeah. I mean,
we want to correct the record.
Correct. So
There are other podcasts that will not correct the record when they get something blatantly wrong. And, just fiddle while Rome burns. But they got their clicks and they got their downloads, so bully for them. All right, let's go to S North.
S North.
Jonesport Beals, who I think lost today to... Who did they play? Did they play Washburn?
No, I don't think they go up north.
I'm pretty sure they lost. I got a message about them losing.
I don't have it on your schedule, so.
Oh, maybe that's somebody else. Woodland beat Jonesport Beals, 59-53.
Okay, so that was a makeup.
Woodland's D, right?
Yeah. Oh, so that is a makeup. So it was a makeup.
Okay. Somebody had a bunch of points. It's on one of these 82 things. Right. Someone asked me the other day, they're like, how do we get information to be in the newsletter or something? I'm like, just send it to me and hopefully I'll find it and remember which method you sent it to me by at 3 a.m. when I'm finishing up the thing. All right, so Jonesport Beals is the 1 seed, but by razor margin over Easton. Easton, one of the great logos in the state. I'll just say that. Washburn is 3, Katahdin 4, Shed 5, Van Buren 6, Wisdom 7, and then Deer Isle looks like they're going to be the 8, unless it's East Grand, and Ashland's 0-12.
So let's look at Jonesport Beals. They pretty much stay exclusively down east, other than 1-2 games with Lee. Mm-hmm. They do have Bangor Christian, so they do come up there. Easton stays in the county, so there's going to be no crossover there. They come off of went over Van Buren yesterday. They go to Central Risk. That's a decent rivalry game for them tomorrow. It looks like down in the Panther Palace. Washburn. I actually, believe it or not, I saw Washburn this year.
Really?
Yeah, I was up north for work, and they were playing Hodgdon. I'm like, okay. Well, it's either sit in my hotel room, or go over to Washburn. So I did see them play.
They got smoked, right, in that game? 88-33?
Yeah. Yep. So, Katahdin's sitting there at 6-6. Then it looks like the top 4 is gonna kind of be settled.
So the tourney odds like Katahdin.
As a whole, or
they have
in the top 4.
They have them slotted in 3.
Okay.
15% to get the 1 seed, 25% to get to the 2 seed, and 40% for the 3 seed.
Okay.
So, had Jonesport Beals at 50, pretty much a 50-50 shot to get the 1 seed for Jonesport Beals. So there's a lot still in flux here.
So I project, and it's not necessarily a correct analysis, but I when I kind of project the tournament, I look at how things are sorted with the average seed. And it may not totally be
right,
the right way to do it.
Because you could be a thing. The simplest way to put it, like say it's late down the stretch, and you could be 50% to be the 3 seed and 50% to be the 6 seed, and then your average seed would be
4.5.
4.5. But you're not going to be the 4 seed or the 5 seed.
Right.
So that's where it can fail you, but this early, it won't fail you.
Yeah.
I think it will give you an idea, at least, of where...
It gives a good, enough analysis to figure out, who, what could this matchup be? Are we going to, could we see a team for the 3rd time?
What's still in play, that sort of stuff.
Right. So, especially like S... more so because it's a high concentration of county teams who all usually play each other. You're more likely to have a rematch in that case, unless you're following, you draw a Jonesport Beals or Shed coming down east, because, they just don't cross over.
Right.
More so. So, so it's interesting. The other thing we have to consider is how do these matchups line up and how do the girls' matchups line up? Because that's going to dictate when these schools play.
See, that someone asked me that when the schedule was going to come out, and I said I think it's travel determined, because part of the issue is those quarterfinals. There's school that week, right? Those days, right?
Correct. So I'm guessing if and most of these teams are going to have both schools are going to have both teams in it. I think they're going to try to reduce, if not eliminate, any possibility that a school would play on both days.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's the sort of stuff the MPA should 100% be doing.
Yep.
And not locking in the schedule. Be like, well, that's the schedule. Schedule's the schedule. Sorry that you've got to play Friday night and Saturday morning, but the schedule's the schedule.
Well, we talked about a schedule change earlier today because they did move the S finals down to Augusta.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to be on Saturday, which means the B finals are in Bangor on Friday. So everything on one day is now gone again. But the times they have listed don't necessarily mesh. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out. But
I'm hoping they move the Portland game back to 7 instead of 6, because right now they have the Portland game starting at 6.
You're looking at going to Augusta first?
Yeah, of course I am.
Yeah.
Of course. I'm going to go. I think my plan is now, based on the current schedule, I've already looked at hotel rooms. I'm going to go to Bangor, and then there's no way, it makes no sense for me to drive home. So get a hotel room, because it's like $220 or something like that.
Yep.
To home from Bangor, something like that. Maybe 2.5 hours. I don't know.
Right.
And then get a hotel room in Bangor, and then drive down to Augusta in the morning, and then do as many Augusta games as I can fit in and still get to Portland in time.
Yeah, so I was looking at it. Well, I was excited having everything on one day, potentially, because Maine hockey is in Portland Friday night. It's a Northeastern home game because Matthews Arena is now closed. So Northeastern's playing a home game in Portland against Maine, and that was that Friday night. And I was like, I can do that now. But now, knock on wood,
But I like
if I'm working that night, so
their own spotlight.
I do too, and it's just a good primer for the weekend. And it's if anybody follows John Rothstein on Twitter, CBS College Sports Insider, if there's one Division I game going on, he'll just list it, tweet it, and say it'll be like Niagara Canisius standalone game, and then just say what network it's on. And say, okay, dude.
I think what they should do for this is, I like the idea of B on the first day on Friday, and then the other 3 on Saturday, and then I think they should do A by itself on either Sunday or Monday. And I know Sunday they can't, whatever, but they should do it by itself, just because that way I would love to see all of the state games get their own time in the spotlight, where there's no one competing with somebody else.
I'm surprised they didn't utilize Thursday.
Yeah, you can utilize Thursday. You can do S on Thursday. Because
back in the day when the Class A quarterfinals were what we consider to be state championship Saturday, any game in Bangor had to be Thursday, Friday, because they would do the 8-game day at the auditorium on Saturday. But also a few years back, when the America East tournament was in Portland, the building wasn't available on Saturday, so they had to do state games Thursday and Friday night. I remember I went down. Hamden was in both games on a Thursday night down in Portland. Lost them both. That was a fun drive back. But, it was Hamden Greeley both games.
Oh, yeah, I remember those.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it'd be nice to have everybody get their own time in the spotlight.
I think so, too. I mean, right now, that A girls game is listed for 6, so it kind of has a little bit of a standalone window. But, I would anticipate probably they're going to have to shuffle things earlier in the day. I know probably no one really likes to play a state game at 10 or 11 in the morning.
Right.
But, it is what it is. Soccer survived for years.
No one wants to cover it at 10 in the morning because, we're all very tired at that point. All right, I'm going to move on to D South because we are 26 minutes in and we are still in Class S.
Awesome.
There's probably people online right now going, because it's 10 o'clock. They're like, where are the heel points?
Yeah.
Holy hell. Where's my heel points? All right. Mount Abrams 10-3, Monmouth 6-4, Madison 6-4, Carabec OOB, Buckfield, Wiscasset at 7-4, Searsport, Telstar, NYA, Booth Bay, Richmond. 12 teams, 8 get in.
So I pull up the tourney odds as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, who's already in and who's out. So, okay, so Mount Abram, Monmouth, Madison, and Carabec have all clinched buys. And that Everything else is in flux.
Well, it looks like there's a little bit of separation. Telstar, but like a 57% chance to get in, and then NYA a 29% chance to get in. Sears
So
Sports sitting there as well.
It looks like it's Telstar for the last spot. It's a coin flip, and it's either NYA or Searsport.
Yeah.
To take it from them, and then Richmond's living on a prayer at 2%, and Boothbay's at 0.5%, and they might have lost tonight, and that might be gone.
Well, it's interesting to look at the mix of these schedules. We mentioned the girls' side, but I think we have schools in 4 different leagues, in this division. You look at Oldridge Beach sitting in 5th at 4 and 6, but they're playing a more heavier Class C schedule. Actually, a lot of these schools play more, kind of a hybrid Class C schedule because you have your Mountain Valley Conference teams, and they more or less play. They might have 1 or 2 crossovers outside the league, but more or less they're playing inside the MVC. So,
or the Big East, because you got like Wiscasset in the Big East, right? They're still in the Big East.
PVC. So
okay.
They're a PVC school. Big East is the big school division of the PVC, but So, but then so you have a couple of these other teams. Like I think Telstar is more of a East-West school. I think they are an East-West school now. Same with like Wiscasset. So they're sitting in 7th at 7 and 4. But look at the wins: Richmond, Vinyl Haven, Temple, Greenville, Temple, Richmond, Buckfield. So it seems they've lost to like
not to make fun
twice.
Not to make fun of Wiscasset, but if you're Wiscasset, you're thrilled to be 7 and 4 after how the last 10 years have gone.
Right.
You're just like thrilled to be in games.
Yeah. So they can get. I think they were Augusta maybe a few years back, but it's been a minute.
Wiscasset? No, they've been in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Because they were down in D with relegation.
Right.
And they did pretty well with relegation. The girls haven't been anywhere. They won 2 games last year, and it was their first wins since the Obama administration.
I had finally updated the tourney history spreadsheet from last year. And I did that over like Christmas break.
That's a good Christmas break project.
I think, it was. But I want to say I was sorting by last like quarterfinal appearance, and I think Wiscasset was the longest drought.
Yeah, probably. Because it was probably the Obama administration. Or longer.
No, Bush.
Jeez.
05.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's just crazy.
Yep. So, and like on the boys' side, it wasn't that, I guess, egregious. Actually, East Grand boys haven't been since 04. New York Vegas boys haven't been since 09. And
really?
Yeah. So, I mean, looking at, they need work to do if they want to do it. But
that's just so depressing.
I know.
Think about it. Like just thinking like how much, like how. Like just coming from the game I was at of like 2 perennial contenders, and then to think like what it would be like if you just hadn't been in the tournament in 20 years.
Well, I mean, not to totally disrail it, because we're going to talk about how young Levitt is when we get to B South, but Levitt has not won a quarterfinal since 1969.
I'm sorry, what?
Levitt has not won a quarterfinal since 1969.
Wow.
According
to
my
list.
That's
insane. Huh.
Then Lisbon's like second to that.
Not in football, obviously, but that's nuts. Okay, that's a tidbit to remember.
And Mike Hathaway, if I'm wrong, okay, let us know.
Yeah, let him know. And I think if you're wrong, you have to run scout team quarterback for a day.
I'll do it.
Adam Robinson kept talking about doing it, and he never did it. He just chickened out.
Well, I have my doubts.
Yeah. All right. So Mount Abrams the one here. And then there's a lot of, like, probably Mount Abrams 70% to get the 1, and then it's just a lot of questions in the tourney odds. Like, Monmouth could go 1, they could go 7. Madison could go 1, they could go 8. OOB could go 1 to 9, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so...
Monmouth, Mount Abram, tomorrow, Friday.
Oh, cool. Oh, that's probably got game of the day options.
Yep.
All right. I've seen
So,
Mount Abram. Mount Abram's good.
yeah, they were
They got
impressed
one
with
of the
state game last year.
softest, one of the worst technical calls I've seen all year. Well, they had the flop technical against Maranacook. In that same game, their big guy got his 4th foul, and then he just goes, "Are you kidding me?" Like under his breath, and they teed him up for his 5th foul. Which
Interesting.
is
Yep.
plus. It's no notes. No notes. All right, so let's move on.
D North.
And I was like 5 feet away from the kid when he did it. It's like there was no mistaking it. It was a terrible call. Anyway, Machias is 12-0. Look at that. How many undefeated teams are left? It's York, Machias, Stanford just lost.
Is that it? You read these and I'll get on that.
Machias is 12-0. Fort Fairfield 9-1. Madawaska is 10-2. Bangor Christian is 10-2. Hodgdon is 8-4. Skank is 7-4. Piscataqua 7-4. Woodland 6-4. Southern Rustic 5-5. Penobscot Valley 4-6. Stearns 6-4. Central Rustic 6-5. Guagas is 5-7, and then the bottom falls out with Lee and Penquist. 15
Camden
teams,
Hills,
10 get in.
Camden Hills,
that's
York,
right, Camden.
Machias, and whatever else you mentioned. So
I think that's it. That's so the 3.
Wow.
Camden Hills, York, Machias. Are the Gardner girls undefeated?
Yes.
So there's a couple girls teams too. I think Bangor Christian girls are undefeated still.
I believe so. So let's look here. Obviously, you have a separation with the top 4. I think one could expect that these top 4 kind of establish themselves.
Machias looks pretty locked in at 1.
Yeah.
Then Fort Fairfield and Madawaska have buys, and Bangor Christian is in, and 99.9% to get a buy.
So let's look at like a Machias, like what they have to do to fall out of 1. I mean, they have Jonesport Beals, who they beat 73-32 the other night, but they have them again next week. They go to Shed. Do they have 5 in a row on the road? Yeah, they go at Jonesport Beals, at Shed, at Fort Kent, Machias to Fort Kent. Wow. Go to Woodland and go to Skank. Okay, then they wrap up the season home against Narraquagas. So, wow. Fort Fairfield sitting there. Their lone loss is to that Hodgdon team sitting in 5th by 4. And it looks like they play them on Saturday. Madawaska sitting there. They had that great game, the loss, 3-point loss at Fort Kent. The other loss is to Fort Fairfield, which was in double overtime, at least one overtime.
Yeah, that sounds right. I'm looking up something from Machias.
And then they have a bunch of point-worthy games up in the. Actually, they still have Katahdin. They still have Fort, Easton, Hodgdon, and Fort Kent. So, I mean, it seems like the cream of the crop of the county is kind of all.
Yeah. So Machias needs to lose 2 games to drop out of 1.
Okay.
And then they are 75% to get the 1 seed at 16-2.
Yep.
So then they are 33% to get the 1 seed at 15-3. So probably 16-2 is the number, and 15-3 they would need a lot of help to hang on to the 1 seed. So that's your target if you're the Bulldogs there. They're the Bulldogs, right?
Yes. Okay. Hodgdon is sitting there at 8-4. There's kind of a gap in the heels behind Bangor Christian, but let's look at the losses. They lost to Bangor Christian once already, lost to Fort Kent twice, okay, and then the loss to Madawaska. They have Southern Rustic, Fort Fairfield coming up. They do host their last 3 games of the season, and they got Bangor Christian, points, Central Rustic, points. I mean, they're sitting there right now in 12th at 6-5, but man. And then they wrap up the season with Madawaska. So, Skank's always interesting. They're playing more of a PVC, Penquist League area schedule, so they're not further still goes Machias, but they won't go up into the county. They're at 7-4. PCHS, same. Cecily played Skank tonight.
Who played Skank tonight?
PCHS and Skank.
That score's not in yet.
It says it postponed. I don't know what happened there.
Oh. Yeah, that sounds right. I seem to remember a game getting postponed earlier today.
Okay. So anyway,
been a long day.
Right. So eventually they'll play. But then PCHS has Bangor Christian. It looks like on Tuesday. They still have Bangor Christian twice.
Where do they slot
now,
in?
10. This is 15, so 10 make it. 7 through 10 of a prelim. You would think the winner of that PCHS Skank game would kind of be in more of the driver's seat to get a bye.
No.
Maybe? No?
Oh, Skank is 71% to get a bye. Piscataquis is 15%. So Piscataquis is going to have to do more than beat Skank to get the bye.
Well, they had Bangor Christian twice, too. So.
And Woodland is 55% to get a bye, but they have that Jonesport Beals win now.
Right.
So that's got to bump them up at least 10, 15%.
This is one division where I think it's probably more competitive to get that last spot. If you look at the
last tourney spot itself?
Yeah, so look at the tourney odds right now. I mean, it has Stearns with a 63% chance to get in. Ironically, it has PVHS. Yeah, that's how you say that. 61%. Yeah, spelling's hard when it's 4 letters.
Mm-hmm.
And then Central Rustic and Southern Rustic. I mean, they have a 40-something% chance to get in according to the model. But
yeah,
if you look at a Central Rustic who's there sitting in 12 at 6-5, okay, they still have Easton. They have Easton tomorrow. Hodgson, Fort Fairfield.
And they need to get to 11 wins to get in. Central Rustic does.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
They are at 10 wins. They are 30% to make the tournament.
Wow.
So they are at 11 wins. They're 83%. So their target's going to be 11 wins.
I guess Griffin has work to do.
Yeah.
Man, but that just speaks to the volumes of, the quality of
like 11 wins to get in. I think I seem to remember a 12-win team not getting in a couple years ago.
Yeah. Central Rustic does not have a bad loss, period. Okay.
They just don't have anybody on their schedule.
Well, they do. They just haven't beaten them.
Right.
They lost to Madawaska. They lost to Fort Fairfield, Hodgson, Easton, Madawaska again. Okay. The wins against Southern, Washburn, Wisdom, Ashland. Yeah. East Grand twice. So, I mean,
yeah,
that's the problem. So they're kind of in that whole gatekeeper category, So
see where their schedule ranks. What are we on? D North?
Yep.
Central or Rustic. Their schedule is 101st in the state, 9th in D North.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, they kind of have some anchors in there, don't they?
The rankings have them 10th in the region by the power rankings. So, I mean, they're about where they should be.
Yeah.
More or less.
PVHS, what's their schedule ranked? They're 4-6 right now. They played Dexter tonight. That game reported. They beat Dexter tonight.
Okay. Do you know who am I looking up again?
Penobscot Valley.
Penobscot
Valley.
Penobscot Valley's schedule is 7th in D North.
Okay. They had the win over Dexter today, so they might not get to 8 by the end of the night, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, lots of great teams in D. I mean, the B North tournament, the C North tournament, the D North tournament, all 3 of them. Okay.
Bangor's going to be really fun.
Bangor's going to be a ton of fun. We've had, let's be honest, other than maybe the first year 5 classes, really bad quarterfinal games. Okay. This is not the case this year. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, at least it's setting up that way, but even on the girls' side too. So, obviously the least competitive games from the quarterfinal round are going to be an S, but that's a smaller division. Virtually everyone makes it. Maybe not in the North with 10 teams, but
that's the problem with if you have anything under 12, your quarterfinals generally are terrible because
yeah,
your 8 should be the 12, and it's you got
right.
like a 1-17 team playing a 17-1 team, and you're like, well, this is not going to go well.
I like that 14-15 size.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 10 seems to work. Prelims are still good. They might be the quarterfinal game may not be as spicy as we wish. But how often have we?
How did you feel about like the 21s and like the 19s? The one like C North and C South were huge.
Bad.
Yeah.
No, because it just wasn't balanced. Because then you would have 7 teams in a region in AA. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah. All right.
So,
all right. Let's move on to D.
C.
Yeah. C South.
C South.
C South. We did D South. We did D North. Right?
Yes.
Did we do D South?
We did D South.
Okay.
Mount Abram, Monmouth. They play tomorrow, I think.
I'm gonna get great for this.
Or yesterday.
I will show you my Garmin numbers on my sleep thing, and you will stop giving me grief. Okay. Halldale's 10-1, Maranacook 9-4, Spruce is 10-2, Mount View is 8-3, Oak Hill is 7-4, Waynfleet 6-3, Dirigo 6-5, Lisbon 6-5, Sacramento Valley 7-4, Winslow 3-7, Trape and Winthrop are tied at 11th, then Mountain Valley and Wells. Halldale's really good. I've seen Halldale. They've got, what's his name? Tayshawn Cleveland? Does that sound right?
Sure.
Yeah, something like that. He's really good. He's a transfer from Deering.
Okay.
Yeah, he's quite good. Maranacook's got one of the impact freshmen in Gage Matson, and they've got Jack Fontaine who can light it up. Spruce got Kai Dower, and that whole football team that made the state run. Mount View. I don't know how good Mount View is, but do you get the feeling that we're at the point right now where nobody wants to play Mount View in a quarterfinal?
Ever?
Like, just like right now for a little bit. It's a little bit of a shell shock situation where you're like, I don't want to see them in a quarterfinal.
We'll look at the 3 losses. Maranacook, Winslow. Winslow's loss is a little, kind of at this point, but Belfast. And Belfast, has a good chance to make the B tournament.
Belfast is solid, yeah. Belfast has Ripley, who's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
They've got they beat Oceanside in overtime.
Right.
And then they got smoked at Oceanside the other day. But they're a program that's figuring out how to be competitive on a consistent basis. I think that's a fair assessment of it.
Right.
Because they were so bad for so long, and they've got new coaching, and they've got the infrastructure. They're building the infrastructure, and so you have the Heights where you beat Oceanside in overtime, but then part of the trick of building a winning program is bringing it every night and winning every night, and that sort of thing. And I think they're learning how to do that.
Right. So Spruce Mountain 10-2, lost the first 2. Mount Abram, Halldale, then ripped off 10 in a row.
Yeah. So Spruce, I saw the one they lost at Halldale. I was there for that. So the thing with Spruce is they had all the football players, and they were all banged up coming off of, because that turnaround is like, it's not very long.
Bring that up. Yeah.
And so then they lost Kai Dower. He didn't play in the Halldale game. They lost him for 4 or 5 games. He's very, very good.
Right.
And, so now they seem to be healthy. Scott Bessie's got him clicking a little bit, I think, is fair to say. And I think they're the favorite here. I think if I had to put, DraftKings gave me odds on this, I would take Spruce Mountain to win this region. For entertainment purposes only.
Right. So but they beat Maranacook twice.
They beat Maranacook twice. I saw the Maranacook game at the Civic Center, which had the tip that's confused people. It's the real lesson of who knows ball and who doesn't know ball. It's been like, but the horn didn't go off. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, right. It's the light.
No, it doesn't even matter because it was 0.3.
Oh, duh. Yeah. Trent Tucker rule.
Mm-hmm.
So Oak Hill's
yeah.
a little spicy. Here it's 7-4.
They lost, so they started 1-4,
Yep.
and they've won 6 straight.
Okay, and they have Spruce tomorrow. Then Madison. So,
yeah, that could be a good test for them.
Yeah, they played Levitt. Interesting.
Good. Did they really?
Yeah, they
Oak Hill
do.
did? Oh, they play Levitt.
They play Levitt. Yeah. So
they've got Spruce twice.
The weakest they do have Spruce twice. The weakest team point wise on their schedule left is Madison. No, it's Monmouth actually. So they have a ton of points on their schedule.
Yeah. So who are we looking at? Oak Hill.
Yeah.
The tourney odds slot them in at 6, but they could still get to 2. They could realistically get to 4. Is sort of their ceiling.
Right.
It has Halldale at 64% to get the 1, and Spruce at 30%, and then Marana Cook with a Brewer Hail Mary at 5%.
Yep.
I got to come up with a good name for that.
A brewer. Just call it a brewer.
The Brewer. Yeah, a Brewer.
Oh, yeah.
So Halldale, Spruce, and Marana Cook have a bye. Mount View is in, and everybody else has work to do.
Yep.
Wayne Fleet's 99.9, so they're probably, I think we could pencil them in. And they won today, so they beat Sacramento Valley today, so they're in. We'll say they're in.
Winslow's a little interesting. I mean, they're 3-7.
They project as 29% to get in.
Wow.
Sitting at 10, so the model has Trape passing them.
So you have Trape at 35%, Wells at 37%, Winslow at 29%. So they're pretty much fighting for that last spot.
Trape can still get a bye. Jeez.
Wow.
So can Wells.
Well, I mean, it depends on their Class B games.
Yeah.
Really. So.
Yeah. All right. Moving on.
Yep.
Where are we going? Sure. C North?
Let's go C North.
Okay.
That's the natural
Caribou is in first still at 9-2. Fort Kent 8-2. Foxcroft 9-2. Washington Academy 8-5. Sumner 8-3. Mattinacook 9-3. Orono 6-4. Callis 4-8. MCI 4-7. Bucksport 3-8. Dexter 4-7. GSA and Central each have 3 wins, and then Holton is not having a good year.
Yep. So MA beat Orono today. I know that for certain. So because I was there, unless I imagined it.
You might have.
So that's 10-3. They've played 13 games already. Wow.
Jeez.
Orono 6-5.
What would worry me is they're still in 6 at 13 games. You know.
Well, no, they would be 4 at the end of the night. They would jump WA and Sumner.
Oh yeah, those are really close.
Yep. So
they project as 4.
Yeah, that sounds. Yeah, my guess is it's probably going to be Caribou, Fort Kent, Foxcroft, and MA as the top 4.
That's
now,
what the turning odds say.
Let's go through that. Let's start with Caribou.
Okay. Did you see the stat in the newsletter about Caribou?
No.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna love.
Did I miss it?
You missed it, or I forgot to type it. One of the two. So teams this season since Christmas, and I'm using Christmas as to get rid of the riffraff of like your Noble, who was really good last year and obviously was falling into the basement. Falmouth.
So after it self-regulates itself.
It self-regulates it a little bit. Teams that were favored in the model by 19 points or more were 32-2 on the year so far. 19 points or more, 32-2. Those 2 losses, Caribou last night and Caribou.
Yep, Foxcroft.
They have both of them.
Yeah.
So that's fascinating to me, but such a red flag for me in terms of picking a team to win a region. I'm like, yes, they're very good. The highs are very good, but it seems like if they could have a bad night and it could all fall apart in a one and done situation.
Let's start here. And we talked about in the preseason one. Okay. I've been high on Presque Isle. Okay. The score surprises me.
Yeah.
The result, it's rivalry game. They shoot well in that tiny gym. Uh, yeah, I mean that really didn't surprise me as much. But we've seen Caribou grind out a game against Matanocook. They kind of took care of Fort Kent. Did they play twice? They've only played once.
I just thought it was interesting that twice they've been favored by that much and lost, and they're the only team to do it.
Well, let's talk about Foxcroft for a second, okay? Because you brought up the Spruce Mountain thing, okay? Where late they get deep in football and their bodies haven't changed over yet. Now Foxcroft lost in a semifinal round, which is extremely early for them. Okay, they made a state game last year and they kind of came around at the end of the season. Okay, once they got into quote unquote basketball shape. So is Foxcroft 2 weeks ahead of schedule compared to what they normally are? Maybe. I mean, it could be something like that. So, and I saw Foxcroft played last night up there. They played Herman, and Herman's really, really good. But
Herman's very good.
Actually, Lennon McAfee, really good player. If you haven't seen the feature on him that Toby Nelson did with FA and Eastern Maine Sports, definitely give that a watch and a listen. Really cool story. Super humble kid. I mean, you can't not root for him. But they have other pieces. Lucas Sands, strong guy. They beat Caribou once. They don't have as strong of a schedule other than Herman. As the other C teams, they do not play Matanocook, which I thought was a little bit weird. But they're sitting there at 9-2 right now. The 2 losses were to Herman. They haven't lost a Class C game.
Are you suggesting that maybe they should not have been that much of an underdog? When was that game? I thought December 30th.
Yeah, I thought they were good. Maybe not that much of an underdog, but I think they were still the underdog in that game. I'm not to totally discredit them, but that game. What was the final of that? That was
I'm gonna look up and see. I have it highlighted.
72-58.
So if it keeps track of 2 things. It keeps track of what the line was on the day, and then what it would be now. And now it would be 4.1.
Okay,
so maybe I could have used also January 1st as the date, and then they wouldn't have been in there.
Maybe, but Foxcroft, they go to Caribou Saturday, so we'll see what happens there. So like with Matanocook, where they had that great game that went down to the buzzer, the first time. Matanocook goes up there, granted on the second day of a back-to-back after going to Fort Kent the night before, and they kind of they lose by I want to say 19, 19 or something. So I think those top 4 are set. I think nobody in that top 4 would want an Orno draw,
no,
at all.
No.
So right now we have Orno. Orno they'll be in, but they have a 30% chance to get a bye, so they may fall all the way to 7 and have to win a prelim to get there.
They're probably going to have to win a prelim. So the top 6 are in. Caribou has locked up a bye. Everybody else is locked in. Holton is out. They're one of the teams in the state that is out. And then everybody else has got at least a puncher's chance. Central, sitting in 13 in the tourney odds, has got a 30% chance of making the tournament.
I want to touch the teams that are currently sitting 4th and 5th right now, the Down East schools with WA and Sumner. WA did beat them the other night. WA is sitting there at 8-5. They do have losses to Caribou, to MDI. They have MDI again coming up. They lost to Orno and lost to Caribou a second time. And Foxcroft. So Sumner does not, and I'm going to vamp a little bit if you could look up the strength of schedule within the division. But Sumner sitting there at 8-3. Yeah, sitting there at 8-3. The losses to WA. Callis, who's sitting there at 8th at 4-8, and WA again. So they've beat up against the Centrals, Jonesboro Beals. They did split with Callis.
Sumner has the second easiest schedule in C North.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. So and coming down the stretch, Searsport, they play Matanocook twice, so that's their real test. Starting next week, Jonesboro Beals. That's pretty much it from a point-wise perspective for them. So if I'm assuming MA is going to jump up into that top 4, and then W and Summer are going to fall into that area. It kind of poses a situation. Do you want to finish 3rd or 4th and get a Sumner or WA?
Mm-hmm.
Or hey, let's get all the way to 2, and then we have Orono waiting for us. So
Right.
now, granted, I haven't seen WA. I know WA did play Orono. They did lose to Orono. They split with Orono. So, and Sumner and Orono don't play. So, that,
And
it's
Orono,
all about the draw.
yeah, Orono's probably the 7. Like, they're
It looks that
59% to be
way.
the 7.
It looks that way. Orono down the stretch, they played 11 games. So they have Holton on Saturday. They have
Mm-hmm.
Caribou at home on Monday. It'll be interesting to see if they can be at full strength health wise for that game. And then down the stretch, Central, Holton again, Central again.
Jeez.
And they do go up to FA, up to Foxcroft with the second of January, or excuse me, February, Groundhog Day.
Hmm.
And remember last year, they were a heavy favorite when they went up to Foxcroft, and Foxcroft won, stalled. Or
Oh,
should I
right.
say, shortened the game. Okay. But Foxcroft needed that to get in, and they eventually did make it all the way up to 10. Okay.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they finish up against Old Town, who isn't worth a ton right now. They did get their win last night, but we'll see. Yeah, I see that Orono at 7. I'm like, yikes. Who? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
man. So right now, is it still Fort Kent? Pretty much
Fort Kent's 2.
Fort Kent or Foxcroft. Yeah.
Yeah, they look like Fort Kent and Foxcroft look like they're probably 2-3 in some order.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. Who wants Orono? Okay.
Yeah.
Don't raise your hand too quickly.
Yeah, you might want to drop to 3.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to B South. York is 11-0. Lake Region is 10-1. But I have thoughts. Levitt is 7-3. Madomic Valley is 7-2, now 7-3. Yarmouth is 8-3. Poland is 6-5. Oceanside is 6-6. Cape is 4-7. Morse is 3-7. Greeley's 3-8. Lincoln Academy's 2-8. They beat Morse tonight. I know that. GNG is 3-9. Freeport 2-9. Then Marshwood and Freiburg.
So this is obviously your home region.
It is my home region.
We talked about it. How much does Madomic? I don't know if we talked about it right beforehand, but who really wants Madomic in 4?
Nobody wants. I don't think York wants Madomic in 4, considering they scrimmaged them at the Expo and lost over Christmas, and then scrimmages, caveats all around. You don't know who's playing their full rotation.
Right.
I got the sense both teams were playing to win. I went to the game, but I don't know if either team played their normal rotation. Madomic sat some of their starters more than they probably normally would have. I hadn't seen York, so I don't know if that was the case, but they seem to go pretty deep into the rotation. So they'll probably listen to this and tell me. But I think if you're York, you don't want to see Madomic. You got Lake Region, who has the one loss, and they beat Yarmouth by 4. That's the only team they've played inside of the top 45 other than York, who blew them out. Yep. So I'm going to guess that's not going to be the strongest schedule in B South. So let's see. Lake Region. That is the easiest schedule in B South.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
And it doesn't really get harder. Jeez. Look at the schedule. They've got GNG 60th. They've got Yarmouth again. They go to Yarmouth. They're number 26. That's it. They got Freiburg. They got Greeley. They got Waynfleet. GNG, Trape. Wow, that's like Patriots level soft schedule.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yarmouth beat York. I just saw that come in. Yeah, I just saw that come in. Wow.
Really? Okay.
Evan Ornelas scored 28 points, hit 5 threes. Wow. They had a 19-9 third quarter. Reese McDonald had 27. Huh. Well, that shuffles things a little bit. So that's going to move Yarmouth. So Yarmouth's 5. York is worth 23. So that's going to give them
that's close to 2.
About 13 points.
Yeah,
that is close to 2. That is close to 2. That's going to get them in. Did Lake Region is not going to get any points from any of their wins, but did Lake Region and Wells and Levitt win today? I think they all played today.
Lake Region.
Levitt beat Waterville, but I don't know. Lake Region played Trape. Lake Region's not going to get any points out of Trape anyway.
But enough to stay in 2.
Enough to stay in 2.
Yep.
Yeah, Trape is worth a little bit. Huh. And then Levitt beat Waterville. Waterville's not worth anything.
Right.
And then Madomic lost, so they're not going to move up. So Madomic's going to drop down to 5 with this. And let's see what the turning odds say going into today, which I don't know if we might have to throw out the turning odds for this one.
I think so.
So they had Yarmouth. It had Yarmouth slotting in at 5. So the order it had was York, Madomic, Lake Region, Levitt, Yarmouth, Poland in the top 6. It had Madomic's basement at 5, but like a really small chance at 5. Lake Region could also drop to 5. Yeah, this is gonna get interesting. Huh. Mm-hmm. That's an interesting win.
Yep.
I don't think it hurt. I think York still goes 1.
Right.
But it puts Yarmouth in the mix. Yarmouth could only get, they were kind of locked in. They were 64% to get the 5. So this could maybe just get them to the 4, and then what's the difference, 4 or 5? It's just the color jersey you're wearing at the Expo. Interesting. They had 5% chance to get the 3. So that's the question is, could they get the 3? They've got Freeport left, Greeley, Lake Region. They would have to beat Lake Region.
Yep.
So that's on January 27th. That'll be an interesting one. Lake Region at Yarmouth. That's really the only points Yarmouth has left on their schedule.
Well, after tonight, yeah.
After tonight. Looking at Madomic, so they lost to Coney. They've got Belfast. Belfast worth some points. They got MCI. They've got Lincoln Academy twice. They've got Erskine, who's worth almost 20 points. They've got Oceanside, and they've got Levitt, and they've got Gardner. So Madomic has a ton of points left. That's why they're favored to be the 2.
And it still probably work out that way.
They'll probably go 2 or 3.
Yep. So it looks like the top 6.
They'll probably lose one more here.
I just want to move down the table quickly. I mean, it looks like there's some separation, between Poland sitting or projected as a 6 versus an Oceanside projection at a 7. Poland has a 60% chance to get a bye. It looks like Oceanside's at 39%. So they're going to have to, weather a prelim in that situation.
They beat Mount View tonight.
Okay. So that'll help.
Mm-hmm.
But will it help enough for them to jump into 6th right now?
Lincoln Academy's 8 was 78% to get in. They can't really get a bye. They beat Morse, who's 50% to get in. That's a kind of big game for that.
Yeah, so, right now, Morse is a 52% chance to get in, and Greeley sitting there at 45, and then it drops right off from there.
Yeah, everybody else is pretty much out. Did Greeley win today? Who did Greeley play today? This is such professional podcasting.
I know. Well, we're all learning about it, and people are upset that the heel points are updated.
They played Freiburg, so it doesn't matter if Greeley won today because Freiburg's not worth anything, and they don't play till tomorrow. Also,
right. Interesting.
Huh. Well, anyway, so
yeah,
go ahead.
Would you survive if Madomic gets up to 2? Would you survive yet another Madomic Oceanside game?
Oh, dear God. This is where, if you want to be conspiracy, this is where like the MPA is fixing it to get the ratings. I mean, they could end up with Lincoln Academy. Might be the alternative.
Right.
So.
Well, I mean, could that be? I mean, there's a chance. I mean, yeah. I mean, you could have an Oceanside Lincoln prelim.
That would be fun.
Yeah. But
that would be fun.
Who knows?
Okay, so I want to talk a little bit Madomit Coney because I went to that.
Yep.
Playoff atmosphere for that.
Sure.
The first game was 95-89. Really, really fun game. Coney is very good. They played their defense. What's a nice way to put it? It was terrible against Gardner. It was really bad. But it was a lot better tonight, and I don't know how much of that was effort and how much of that was the smaller floor, and they run this like full court sort of trap defense, or maybe Gardner's just better than anyone thinks they are, because I think a lot of people are sleeping on Gardner. But you know, Braithwaite, Mason Wen going at it, Colin Donlin going at it, Parker Morin. Braithwaite got 2 fouls in the first quarter, so he's sitting. And so I'll just say, what's the nice way to say this? They had 2 officials for this game, which I can't remember the last time I saw 2 officials for a game at Madomic Valley for boys. Like, I'm not sure. I have no idea when it last happened. Someone will know. But 2 officials for Coney Madomic is insane. And I imagine that was an availability issue and not a decision made. I could have asked. But considering they've never had 2 officials, I can't imagine they would have willingly done it, you know, if they could have. Or maybe there were some officials who were like, I can't keep up with this. These 2 teams, they're going to be gunning the whole way. So the officiating was pretty bad for the first 3 quarters. Everybody's in foul trouble. Let's see. So Morin had 4 fouls. Mason Wen had 4 fouls. Colin Donlin had 4 fouls. Someone else from Coney had 4 fouls, and Braithwaite had 4 fouls, including a double technical, which they don't shoot free throws for double technicals. I was a little surprised by that. Because it was really confusing because there was a technical and then there weren't any free throws, and I was like, "What are we doing?" Yeah. So, but I want to preface this by saying you can't have 2 officials for this game, and that's probably why the officiating was pretty bad. Because it'd be hard to keep up with it, you know. I will say though that once everybody got to 4 fouls, they stopped calling fouls when like midway through the 4th quarter. And it was the thing I always write about in the newsletter. It's like you can't foul someone out on a ticky-tack foul because then you're deciding the game. And to their credit, they didn't. And there were probably, for those 4 guys, the 4 main guys there were probably 2 or 3 plays for each of them where they could have called the 5th foul, and it would have probably been a foul in the first quarter. And they didn't call any of them. And so they all stayed in the game. Mason Wen fouled out with like 3 seconds left, something like that, because he drove and lost control of the ball, and they stole it, and they were down 2. And so he had to foul to stop the clock, and that fouled him out of the game. But there were several plays where both players, like Braithwaite and Wen, were wrestling for the ball, and it could have been a foul, and it was a jump ball. And so kudos to the officials for time and score and recognizing, hey, this is a really good game. It was tied with 2 minutes left at 73. Madomic came back down 15 or so to tie it, and it was just like place was full. ESPN was there. It was great. So, and then, you know, I was just a really, really great game. And it's the sort of thing I think, even win or lose, you're in a good place because you want to play a good team in a high leverage situation and get those reps.
So, it's interesting to note. I think it's important to note, I guess, the history that Madomic usually always has 3.
Always.
Just because I know there are situations where a school, because the school picks, you know, if they want 2, they could request 3. And I know, you know, there are situations where a school in a high competitive game only want 2, because that's just what they want stylistically.
I'm pretty sure they always do 3. I could be wrong, and someone might be like, no, they do 2 most of the time, but I'm pretty sure they had 3 for Morse earlier this week.
Well, I'm looking at the scoreboard for today, and today was busy.
It was busy, yeah. So it might have been
So
availability.
who's to say?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it's not going to hurt Madomic. It's definitely going to help Coney,
Definitely.
heel wise, and we can transition to B North in a second. But I like hearing all these games. You know, your Madomics, your Gardners, your Coneys, and these games played in the 70 plus because that's just fun.
It's super fun.
It's just fun.
It's super fun, and both teams Madomic's a solid defensive team. Like that's their thing, but Coney's just really insanely good on offense. And I will say, I was talking to someone about this. I think I was talking to Jacob Gleason, who was there. Braithwaite got a dunk in the first quarter, and there was a little bit of English on the dunk, and it was right in front of me, and I got good video of it, which I put on Facebook, and a tiny part of me was like, call the technical. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's go. Come on, let's get some drama. But they didn't, which they shouldn't have. But I did have a really good angle on it. So there's that.
Good.
Anyway, that's my rant about Madomic Coney.
Well, let's see.
Braithwaite
how that will
is
help Coney.
Really good.
See, I was busy the night they came up to Herman, so I didn't get a chance to win. But
which they lost.
That, they lost. It was like 60-48, and that was just more of a Herman, just their own pace and efficiency on the offensive end. Okay, it's not necessarily, it's methodical. We'll call it that, but it's efficient. It's yes and no, but they can score.
Yeah,
they're just really efficient. Okay. And when you reduce the number of possessions on a team like Coney, it's going to happen.
And if you get Coney, they miss some shots. And
I
will say the other thing I want to say about Coney is, so there were probably 4 or 5 times I was standing next to Mark Haskell, and we both noticed this. There were 4 or 5 times where Madomic would hit a big three to sort of get momentum and sort of start the comeback, and Coney answered nearly every time. Next trip down the floor, they would hit a three without fail until Madomic went on the run that tied the game.
Right.
And it was noticeable of the composure and the not getting, because it's a loud building and there's a ton of people there, and you hit a three and then you get a steal, and then all of a sudden it's an 8-0 run, and they shut the door on that every time until the last one, which they shut the door on.
Do they still have the false ceiling up there?
No.
Okay.
So the false ceiling came out last year, I think, before last year, and that gym was already loud and is now much louder.
Yep.
So it gets loud in there for a girls' game.
Okay.
So you can imagine how loud it gets for a Coney Madomic boys game or an Oceanside Madomic boys game.
I'm trying to think how many places still have those.
The false ceilings?
Yeah. I mean, they're probably all gone at this point because it was just all asbestos. Let's be honest. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
it's very loud there. It's a nice gym. I'm biased, of course, but it's a nice gym. It's good sight lines. It's open. It's old enough to have some character, and it's not one of these new ones that are a monstrosity. And it doesn't have weird nonsense where only half of the gym has seats and the other half doesn't. So you get
who are you referring to there?
I can't think of anyone who has only 2 or 3 rows of seats on one side.
No, nothing in Rockland, right?
Nothing in Rockland or anything like that.
Foxcroft has seats on one side, and then they have a bank of bleachers up on the stage behind the other end. Okay. So, but there's only 4 feet between the front of that stage and the wall and the sideline, so everything's super tight on the bench side. And then you have people behind you 4 feet higher up on the stage.
Oh, so I like that.
It's a little funky. Little funky.
I just don't like when there's no one on one side. It just makes the room feels dead to me. Nokomis is like that. Oceanside.
Yeah, they have 3 or 4 rows.
Yeah, I don't like the 3 or 4 rows on one side.
You would hate Bangor.
Oh, I've seen video of it. Yeah, it looks terrible.
Yeah.
I want
the gym.
I want people on both sides behind the benches.
Yeah, but they built Bangor's gym during an era where they had no intention of playing home games in that gym. So,
right.
But
bad planning.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, the 60s, man.
60s. All right, let's move on to B North. Is B North the craziest region?
Yes.
Okay. So,
well, hold on. How do you define crazy?
I don't know.
Intriguing?
Intriguing.
Exciting?
It looks like it's going to be a bloodbath.
So let's start from the top. You have a Herman team sitting there at 9-2. They just came off a Foxcroft win yesterday. Okay, Gardner's sitting there at 10-1. They still have Oceanside, Coney, Levitt. Actually, Levitt. Yeah, next 4 games are all pretty point worthy, and then they finish the season with hosting Madomic last game of the season.
That'll be fun.
That'll be a ton of fun. MDI sitting there in third right now at they will be 11-1. They beat Hamden by 3 today, down in a makeup game down on the island. Coney sitting there right now in fourth. Obviously, they're going to jump. Will they move up enough to catch MDI? It doesn't look like it.
So that's going to be like 8-ish points. So that'll they won't catch
MDI won today. So
so let's stay 4.
Now you have a Belfast team sitting there in 5th. Now, Belfast is 6-6, but they do have that big win over Herman. Okay, first week of the season. Okay, also they have wins over Oceanside, Lincoln, MCI Mount View, who's worth something, and a John Baptist team. So they did lose earlier. I think probably was at the beginning of the week. When was whatever the 9th was.
To MDI.
Belfast, MDI. Oh, and then they had the Oceanside loss yesterday. They had Madomic, it looks like, on Saturday. Okay. Then they turn back. They go to Herman on Monday in the rematch. So, and then they have Ellsworth. Now you have an Ellsworth team sitting there at 9-3, currently in 6th. But the losses to Caribou, okay, to Herman
on the
by
road.
4 on the road, okay. And then they lose. James Witham went off the other night, and they had to come back in the third quarter and stuck it to their rival down on the island. Was at 78-67. They have a very intriguing game Saturday, which I think I'm going to be there for
with Presque Isle.
With Presque Isle. Presque Isle, of course, had that big win over Caribou yesterday. They're currently sitting there at 7-5 in that 8th spot. Erskine is 9-2. And I didn't know they were 9-2 until I just read that right now.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Some kid tonight had like 7 dunks.
Interesting. Now, they're sitting there at 9-2. What's the schedule look like?
For Erskine?
Rank-wise. Yeah.
Oh, I think I'm missing one of their games because I only have 17 games for them.
Yeah. So that's a little wonky as well.
Yeah. In my defense, load your schedules in time. That's would be my defense on that. Because once the train starts going, it's, the schedule for Erskine is 13th in B North.
That is last.
That's not good.
Yep.
It gets a lot harder.
Lawrence has the last spot right now at 2-7. Actually, that would be 2. We're missing a score against him. I know that game was made up.
Yeah, I think someone DM'd me that earlier today.
Yep. So, so they did lose that game, but that doesn't affect their heels. Coma's sitting there at 3-8. They have wins over Hamden, which Hamden's struggling to get a win. They did have that Bangor win earlier this week. Hamden, Lawrence, Old Town. So they won 3 games.
40% to get in.
Okay. Waterville's sitting there. They're 1-9. They have the 1 win over Bucksport. Old Town did get the win over John Baptist yesterday.
Oh.
Okay. So now they are with the 1 win above John Baptist.
But probably out.
They're probably out. But, I'll because I get questions all the time. Okay, especially after last night. Do we have a chance?
No.
Can we still get her? Well, mathematically, yes. They have Herman Saturday, Presque Isle Monday, MDI, Caribou. You're going to have to beat Baps again. Okay. They have
and then you
Brewer.
still probably need help.
Yeah. You have Brewer, and then you finish the season at Orono. Now, boys, the points are in front of you. You just got to go get them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It's as simple as that. But you can't lose to Baps. If you take 2 with Baps, stuff like that. So right now, the tourney.
Old Town.
Right now it says a 0.03 chance to get the 9.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
9. Let's see. Old Town.
I have 6 and 12 they can get in.
Old Town is going to need, let's see, at 7 and 11 they're in. At 6 and 12 they're in. At 5 and 13 they're at 28%.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, at 5 and 13 they have a chance to get the 8, maybe. Because who knows?
Hey, boys, I believe in you. If you can get a home prelim at Mackenzie, let's just do it.
Yeah,
shock the world. Let's do it.
Yeah,
no excuses. All right, let's make it happen.
So they're gonna need to win 6 games total. So they need to win 5 of the next. How many is it?
They have 7 left.
So they have to go 5 and 2 the rest of the way.
Yeah,
to get in.
Yeah. So
yeah, they got a chance. Sure.
And
then they need their help points to not fail them.
Well, you say that, but let's look if they're going to win games, on their schedule. If they have to win 5 of their last 7, I have trust that they would get points from Herman, Presque Isle, MDI, even Orono. So, we'll see. It's not over. So, which is nice.
Yeah.
So in terms of that, I'm just happy the boys got to win. Okay, just get the first one, and you just move upward and forward. So
in terms of who's in, Gardner's in. Gardner's got to buy. Herman's got to buy. MDI's got to buy. Coney, Ellsworth, and Erskine are in, and then everybody else is a question mark.
Yep.
So Belfast is 99% in.
Where do you have Prescott? Do you still have Prescott kind of slotted, most likely to be in that 8?
Yeah, they're 8. They moved up. They were really far behind Belfast, is the thing. So they mostly just made up the difference and got close. But they're 59% to be the 8 and 24% to be the 9 now. But they could get to 5.
They could. So they get. I mean, let's look down the stretch for them. I mean, they go. Obviously, they go to Ellsworth on Saturday. Then they go come back down to MDI on the 24th. Mm-hmm. They do have Fort Kent. Fort Kent's back on their schedule this year, which is that's valuable.
Yeah.
And they only lost by 9 the first time up there, so that's their last home game. Then they finish out at Herman at Caribou. So maybe Wednesday night was the breakthrough for them.
Maybe
we'll see. They're so well coached. I mean, it's Is
it Dylan still?
Dylan's there, and he finds the way to just get that big win.
Mm-hmm.
So credit to that program, and they were my sleeper. So
all right,
proving me wrong. And they've been it's been in waves for them since they made the tournament. I think Dylan's first year. I'm not sure they made it the past 2 years to Bangor, but correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't remember.
So, but. Yeah, we'll see. And if they finish 8th, and I think the girls are kind of projecting that 8 spot right now too. I find it ironic that the 2 prelims in B North are both going to be up in the county when there's one team left up in the county in Class B.
Yeah,
I think that's great.
That's hilarious.
So, but yeah, we'll see. Kind of that mess with that last spot with Lawrence, Nokomis, and Waterville. I want to say. So Lawrence and Nokomis played tonight.
Did they?
Allegedly. Let me work on that.
Lawrence beat Nokomis 55-46.
Okay, so Lawrence kind of reestablishes that 9.
Kennebunk beat Portland. Holy hell!
Really? Are you on?
I'm on Varsity Maine.
No.
Their scoreboard.
Yeah.
Wow. And Falmouth beat Scarborough. Well, let's just go to A South. Let's just do it.
Yeah. Yeah, we're here.
A South, Sanford's 10-1. They just lost to, who was that?
South
Portland.
Yep. Yeah.
Wyndham, the two-time defending champions, are 10-1. South Portland's 8-2. TA is 8-4. Scarborough's 7-3, now 7-4. Portland's 7-3, now 7-4. Westbrook is 7-4. Bonnie Eagles 6-4. Kennebunk's 7-5 now. Cheverus 5-6. They won today too, so they're 6-6. Falmouth is now 6-5. Gorham's 4-8. Biddeford 3-9. Then Deering, Noble, Massabesic.
All right, so if we go to the tourney odds here,
which will shuffle a little bit. So Wyndham Wyndham projects as the 1 seed.
Yeah.
Then Sanford, then South Portland, then Scarborough, then Portland. So here's my question here. How many teams do you think can win this thing? How far down? Man. I think at least 5.
Yeah, I would say the top 5 right now, and it seems like the 5 teams who are kind of projected to get a bye at this point, you would think.
And then I'm wondering about Cheverus, because Cheverus had a bunch of guys out, and I think they might be all back. Because they started
what was the result? They won
started
today?
Yeah, they started 1-5. Lost by 2 points on opening night to South Portland. Then since then they are now 5-1, 5 in their last 6.
Okay.
But the only really difficult game in there is, Bonnie Eagle. Westbrook and Bonnie Eagle. They split those 2 games.
Yep.
So, I don't know. I wouldn't count them out in the tournament to make some noise. They might be a sleeper, the team you don't want to draw if you're one of the higher seeds. And I will say that in the preseason, I seem to remember saying that I would take the over on Falmouth's wins, and I got some people laughing at me, and they seem to be winning some games.
You just mentioned, I mean, that Scarborough win today. I mean, it's man, I don't know. What those are probably what I would guess that's Saturday at the Expo. I would guess they're going to put the A South games.
I think they've already done the schedule.
I know. I just don't remember
if they haven't moved it.
It was different.
So the B girls are on Friday, and the A boys are on Saturday, starting at 1.
Okay.
And the B boys are on Monday.
Yep. They girls. Okay.
Yeah. So tourney odds here say Wyndham, Sanford, and South Portland have a bye. Scarborough, Portland, TA, and Westbrook are in, and then everybody else has work to do. Massabesic is out. And it looks like your top 3 are pretty set.
Yeah.
And then it's like there's like a big gap between 3 and 4, especially since Scarborough and Portland just lost, and we're your 4-5.
So it looks like, I mean, it's a little more of a cluster to get into that 4-5 game,
and get out of the prelims.
Because I mean that's going to be a bloodbath. If
those prelims,
either Cheverus, Cheverus, Kennebunk, Falmouth could be waiting for you to come into your gym, and you gotta win it to get to the Expo. Yeah. A South is fun.
A South is fun.
We mentioned this the other night with that proposal, like to go to reshuffle back to a AA with like 1 region and stuff like that. How can you look at this and be like, let's go back to the old way?
I mean, I really
unless you really want to have a state championship for yourself, come on. No, this is, you don't complain. I say it over and over again. You don't complain about this in soccer. You don't complain about this, in baseball and softball. It's the same deal. Okay.
Yeah, I think this is a really fun region.
It's a lot of big schools in a small area who all play each other. Keep it the way it is. Here's
the other question. When was the last time someone three-peated?
In big school?
In any school. Like how many? There's not a lot of three-peats, are there? In boys?
George Stevens.
Right, George Stevens.
Right before COVID.
Thanks to Ethan Snow's work as a manager.
Yeah. Greeley?
Did Greeley three-peat, or did they do 3 out of 4?
I think they went 17, 18, 19. I think
maybe. Did they three-peat?
I think they went 17, 18, 19.
The
last one was Lawrence, I want to say. It was weird year Lawrence.
When did Lawrence
made a
do
state
it?
game? 19. They won a region.
Oh,
they won a North.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, that's who Greeley beat, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did Portland ever win 3 in a row?
I don't know, and the thing that tells us that is gone from the internet.
Right.
The old MPA site that had it.
Yeah.
I guess I could probably find an old program.
Frank Spanky probably has it.
Probably.
So, shout out Frank Spanky. It's not exactly it's a weird sentence to say out loud.
It is,
but,
yeah. It's I've got a B program here.
But then again,
I wouldn't help.
Right.
A. Let me bring up the A program from.
I think it was Greeley 17, 18, 19 the last time it happened. But D, I don't think Southern University didn't win 3 in a row. C would have been a whole mix of teams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it was Greeley.
You think it was Greeley? I'm skimming through here real quick to see if they have the past results.
Well, if it's a history question, you know what we can do? If it's a history question, we can ask Robert Long to look it up, and he can go. Yeah. I just want to point out, for the record, Robert Long is not my burner. So,
I don't think this program has the history on it.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, I'm sorry if you do. It doesn't have the history on here. Well, that's helpful. Okay. Yeah, I think the one I was thinking of was Morse. They three-peated in like the early 90s, right?
I think it was 87, 88, 89.
Because they have 6, and I think they three-peated twice.
Really? Like in the 60s?
In the 60s. When my uncle was on the team, I'm pretty sure they three-peated in the 60s, or they won 3 out of 4 or something like that, because there were Stearns in there too.
Right. Okay. I'm on Frank Spanky. Now we can figure this out.
Okay.
The state champs updated way too long ago. That's a good start. Monmouth, that's girls. Never mind. GSA 16, 17, 18.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want to say in B, not B, it wouldn't have been B. No, because Carey won in 19 and 20, nothing in 21. 22 was Yarmouth because Ellsworth blew the 10-point lead.
Mm-hmm. And because a Madomic player blew out his ACL. But that's
also true. Yeah, Greeley 17, 18, 19.
Okay. Cool.
So.
All right.
Could have been Orno.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a bloodbath of a region.
Yeah.
I think A South and B North are the two most interesting ones.
But that's not to discredit any of these other regions, because C North's going to be competitive. I mean, it's so much more balanced. And maybe this lasts a year and things get weird like they did last time we did 5 classes. But, let's ride it and enjoy it for this year and not mess it up.
All right. Let's move on to A North, because how deep are we into this?
We're 36. Here we go.
Okay. Still have to write a newsletter. Camden Hills is 10-0. Nolan Ames and friends.
Oh my god.
10-0. You just saw him. You wanna do a bit on Nolan Ames?
So Brewer hung around. They just, Brewer's pesky. I think they only have 2 wins, but they're pesky. They're just gonna hang with you. I think it was 45-45 at the end of 3. There were a lot of fouls in that game.
The reverse of a quarterfinal between Camden and Brewer, when Brewer was the 1 seed and Camden was the 8 seed, and Camden gave them a run for their money.
Right, and that was the first step to Brewer's gold ball.
John Duke will be mad if I don't mention that. So
right, but Nolan Ames, and I mentioned this to you offline. He's the type of kid and player you see him and you're like, he wouldn't be your first pick if you're just picking teams for pickup. Yep. Okay. kind of that unassuming type thing. But man, it's just explosive, getting into the rim, vertical. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
Silky smooth. I think he scored 19 points in that fourth quarter to put Brewer away. Brewer kids were kind of giving him this like, all you do is shoot free throws. I'm like, yeah, but all he does is make them.
You keep fouling him.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like, but yeah, good team. It was a weird game. It started with a technical foul. Okay. Because the kid was wearing an illegal undershirt.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. No, wait for this. And to remove it, he took off his jersey on the floor. That's a technical foul.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. Now, granted, I see all these undershirts, okay, and they have a logo on the sleeve. Usually it's associated with whatever club they're playing with in the off season.
Yep.
Okay. Kids, don't do it, because if jerseys were supposed to have sleeves, they would have sleeves. And the NBA tried that 10 years ago, and they ripped them off.
It was terrible.
Remember when LeBron – yeah. So, okay, here's the solution. Don't have the sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
And while we're at it, dark numbers on dark jerseys, don't do it. I think the rule's changing. It should change.
I think it already changed.
It's supposed to be – well, the girls just bought new jerseys with black numbers on green, and you can't read them. Thank God I know the kids. But – like in Matanaka today, maroon numbers on black. Now, first off, I believe your colors are maroon and white. Okay, why don't you wear maroon on the road, because that is your school color?
Mm-hmm.
Our Old Town football got black jerseys this year. Black jerseys with green numbers and gold and white outlines.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, and the kids love them. I think they're terrible. Okay,
get a little mud on those. You're not gonna have any idea what they say.
Well, you saw the white ones. The white ones were super clean, the one on the road.
Yeah.
Okay? Those are really nice. The helmets came out really nice this year. But I said, I'm like, okay, well, if we're going to wear black, I'm like, are we changing our rotational calendar black and white days as opposed to green and white? Okay. As far as I'm concerned, green looks better. So,
yeah.
Anyway, that's my little side rant here. But Nolan Ames, I mean, it's just like, they're always going to get every team's best test. Okay?
Yeah.
I think they're 11-0 now. They had the win over Skowhegan today by like 10. But again, you're going to get everyone's best test. They have Hamden on, I want to say Monday, something like that, or, moving forth. But he's extremely fun to watch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Highly recommend checking him out.
And company. I'm going to screw up the kid's name. Because I always think I'm going to mispronounce it. You know who I'm talking about.
Is it Hollis?
Yes.
Hollis Schwalm?
Yes. Okay.
I know that I'm pronouncing that correctly because his mother told me so.
Okay. Thank you. Now, did they ever make up that Coney game? Camden Hills, yeah.
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. That'll be interesting.
That'll be fun.
And then Camden plays Brunswick. Looks like next
Brunswick is
Friday.
A lot better than people think they are. Yeah,
at 10-2. Now that I know Bangor beat Brunswick to start the year, and that's really helping Bangor in the heels. Edward Little sitting there at 9-3.
Mm-hmm.
They had that great game to open the season.
Lost
to Camden at the buzzer.
I mean, their three losses are Camden, York, and York.
Wow. Yeah. Mount Blue's a surprise.
Yeah. I had heard I'd heard in the preseason not to sleep on Mount Blue.
Yeah. So they're and look at their losses. I mean, to Edward Little twice, Camden and Levitt. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Mount Blue, Hamden, I want to say they must have Bangor coming up too. So Bangor's sitting there at 5-6.
5-7.
Bangor.
No, did they? I'm thinking of somebody else. Did they?
Doesn't say they played. They play Mount Ararat tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, so 5-6. I saw him last Friday up at Mackenzie, and then I did see him. They hung around with Ellsworth, lost by 4 earlier that week as well. So they've survived the crossover piece of their schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Wins over Brunswick, that's really helping them. Then as well, Messalonski, Skowhegan, Oxford Hills, Old Town. So really, that Brunswick win's really helping them out heel wise. They point-worthy games left. I mean, they still have. I mean, Lewiston's kind of still in that mix. They're sitting there at 7-4. Once Lewiston and Edward Little played tonight.
Lewiston won 48-46.
46. So that's interesting. So they're going to probably jump into that 5.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually, no, they're probably jumping all the way to 4 at this point.
Which they don't project to keep.
Yeah. Yeah, they're kind of projecting that 6th spot. But that'll change with the Edward Little win.
Yeah.
So Skowhegan, they lost to Camden today. They have Mount Blue coming up. And then it looks like you have Brewer and Hamden kind of fighting for that last spot along with Oxford Hills. Now, Brewer's worst loss, it looks like, MDI pulled away 68-41, but other than that, they were okay with Edward Little. I want to say it kind of came back into the half, about 2.5 quarters there down in Augusta. They did get blown out beginning of the season at Skowhegan.
But anyway,
I mean, yeah. So I mean, you of course 8 make it. So now you have your Hamden, Brewer. It looks like Oxford Hills kind of fighting for that last spot. Right now, Hamden is projected to be the 8.
Yeah.
I know Hamden's last week is at host Brewer at Bangor. And the idea that Hamden has to go to Bangor to win and get in, okay,
that's interesting,
is really interesting. It's because there's just a lot of history there.
Yeah.
Probably the winner of that Hamden Brewer game is going to get in has probably a huge leg up in that situation.
I think so. Yeah.
I think that's a Tuesday before the end of the season. Then Oxford Hill's sitting there. They're sitting there at 2-9. They beat Lewiston, which is helping them.
They're hoping to pull a Brewer.
Yeah. But they have points. They still have, Bangor a second time. Skowhegan's worth something. Lewiston.
I mean, they could get,
then of course Brunswick and Mount Blue.
all the way to 5.
Yeah.
So, obviously they have to win out and get a lot of help. But they could get to 5.
So Hamden lost a 3 by 3 to MDI tonight down there.
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, just the wins, 5 wins on the season, Oxford Hills, Messalonsky, Lawrence, Old Town, and Bangor. That Bangor win, obviously, that was kind of a must-win game for them. I don't know how much of a must-win game you can have in the second week of January, but
they're all must-win games, man.
They are A North, the new way.
Yeah.
The new A North is the old A North, but I would circle at least locally around my area. That last week with Hamden, with Bangor and Brewer, they'll probably have to win. You don't want to have a situation where you have to win both to get in, but
you definitely don't.
Yeah. So we'll see. I still think it's.
I think this is
Camden Hills in the pack.
Camden's region.
Camden in the pack. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, in the preseason, talking to people, the consensus was that Camden probably had the best odds to win the gold ball because they had an easy path. Not easy. They had an easier path in A North to get to the state championship game, but that they would potentially be an underdog in the state championship game to whoever came out of the South or whoever survived the South.
I think that's still fair.
I think that's fair.
I think obviously the A South will probably be a little more battle tested going through that tournament.
Mm-hmm.
That's not to say, if a Hamden or a Brewer is sitting there in that quarterfinal,
could give them trouble.
That still could give them trouble. I mean, just look 3 years ago. Then the opposite way, like you just mentioned. That Brewer Camden game. So, and then you have a Mount Blue, Bangor, maybe a Lewiston sitting there in that 4-5 and a semi. So, there's no path that is a cakewalk.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, Nolan Ames gets 3 fouls in the first half, and then all of a sudden, oh boy.
Exactly. It just reminds me how much fun the A North semi session always is, that Wednesday night, historically speaking. So, we'll see. I want a little bit more, on this Lewiston team. And then Skowhegan kind of sitting there currently, kind of projected into that 7. So we'll see. What helps? Well, I should say what would have helped, for like the Bangor Brewer Hamdens is winning those B games, winning their crossovers, and I don't think any of them, other than
you almost
Bangor
had to win
beating.
Those.
Well, I mean, like look at Bangor. They lost to MDI. They lost to Ellsworth. They beat Old Town. Okay, Hamden, beat Old Town, lost to Ellsworth, lost to MDI tonight. Brewer lost to Ellsworth twice. Lost to MDI. They still play Old Town, and they split with Presque Isle, and Presque Isle is one of their 2 wins right now. So
yeah, they're not helping the case of A is better than B.
No, and it's just helping the case of, let's keep these crossovers. Now, on the girls' side, it's a little opposite, but all the games have been competitive, but the A's have won it for the most part.
I'm going to look something up.
Yeah. Oh, you're looking up cross-class? Okay.
Class records. Where did I put that? Okay. For boys, A versus B, A is 24-16 against B. That's 60%.
Okay.
Class B is 21-20 against C. And Class C is 43-19 against D.
43-19.
That's 69%, and I don't have it set up for S.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that really doesn't surprise me.
That's about right. That's about what it usually is.
Now we're getting more A/B games this year, and granted, a lot of that has to do. It's more of like the Central Maine area, I will say, because just talking about, I mean, at least in our area, the A/B crossovers have been pretty much B dominated. So,
and a lot
there isn't much down south.
That's what a lot of people say. Is like South Portland, Wyndham, those guys, they don't play anybody in B.
They play Marshwood,
right? Right. Who's terrible.
Yeah.
That's not helping the numbers either.
Right.
So Marshwood's at B. Wait, let me look at this real quick.
Oh, if you take out Marshwood,
that's a great Marshwood, because Marshwood is 1-9, and those are all. Let me click. They're all A, right?
Yeah, they play a full Class A schedule.
They play a full Class A schedule, so they're 1-9. So that means everybody else
15-17.
A has a losing record against B. If you take out Marshwood,
and I think
should be an A. Interesting,
right? Because So I mean, So keep up those crossovers, kids.
Yeah,
good for the gate.
Yeah,
and for the soul.
Big fan. All right, we are at 1:50. I still have to do the introduction and write the newsletter.
Yeah.
All right. I feel good about this. I feel bad for whoever is going to look at their podcast feed tomorrow and see the runtime. And
you know what? But think of it this way.
A
lot of big games, a lot of travel this weekend.
A lot of travel.
Okay. It's a 3-day weekend.
Right.
1.5 speed is okay. 1.8 speed is okay.
I've never done anything other than 1 speed. I always do.
I honestly, so because I have so many things in my podcast feed. So when I listen to a podcast, everything's fast. I'm just used to it. I'll watch the video of it, and I'm like, why is everyone slurring their speech and sound really?
Why are they like the sloth in Zootopia?
Drunk. Yeah. So, but also then I realize, maybe that's why I speak too fast in general.
That might be it.
Because I'm listening to everything at 1.8 speed.
I listen to it at normal speed, just at work and stuff. And yeah.
So
I don't have a 3-day weekend. I just realized that. Oh, we don't have Martin Luther King Day off.
I do, with both jobs.
Yeah.
Public sector. And I think I am, because I haven't had a chance to get up there this year. Our teams go up to Presque Isle Monday. And I think I'm just gonna girls game's a little spicy. Just because our girls are sitting there 9-2, 10-2, something like that, 2 losses.
Yeah.
But Presque Isle like Herman, they need a win. Okay. Prescott girls knocked off Herman. So we'll see. I mean, I'll play that one by ear, but I wouldn't be surprised if I make my way up there.
And then you might look around and go, oh, look at this game that's 20 minutes away.
Well, I think if I go, I'm going to be riding in luxury from John T. Sear and Sons.
Oh.
Because we get coaches when we go up to the county. So
fancy.
So, but we'll figure that one out.
We did those when I was in college, when I was the play-by-play guy for college. We had the coaches.
Yeah.
And then
so really do that.
Do you have a list of movies that are not allowed to be played because
I don't control that.
They were bad luck?
I don't control that. I know when we go down to our jazz festivals, and of course, well, now remember, Sierra Bus is based out of Old Town, so, but when we go to jazz festivals, the kids will unplug the HDMI cord from the DVD player or whatever, and they will plug in an Xbox, and they'll do a 2K tourney at 6 a.m.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
When I was in college,
and of course,
we had our coach. We watched 8 seconds before a big game, the Luke Perry rodeo movie. And then
oh, no way.
And then we won the game, like an upset, like a big upset. So our coach, who is retiring this year, was convinced it was good luck. So then it was in heavy rotation. But Hoosiers was, for some reason, bad luck because I guess we, like the previous year, had lost a big game after watching Hoosiers, and so Hoosiers was bad luck.
See,
so yeah,
they wouldn't want me on the bus. We'd be watching film the whole way.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, hotspot, laptop, done. We're just watching film.
Okay, let me ask you this. So I went to college in Pennsylvania, outside of Pittsburgh.
Yep.
And I got a letter the other day. They said it's the 25th anniversary of our national championship that we won.
Okay.
And I was the play-by-play guy, so I was not on the team. I was just on the bus.
Yep.
But I got invited. They're having a celebration, and they're going to do a thing, and then they're honoring the coach who's retiring. Yada, 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 yada. I don't have to go to this, right?
You don't have to.
It's in Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
I'm not like have to. I was like friends with like 3 guys on the team. Like good friends with one of them who was on my floor, and then friends with 2 more who were in my major, who I would, talk to at class. So,
yeah, that's different. I mean,
that's like a 12-hour drive.
We did 2-3 years ago now. We kind of did a get together for Russ Bartlett's 300th win.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Now, granted, I was just the measly manager.
Mm-hmm.
I counted the points so I didn't have to score any, because if I had anything other than 0 varsity points, we would not have won a damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
No, but that's a little different because we grew up together.
Yeah.
So, and it was nice to see the guys. It was 10 years out for me. But no, I think in that situation, I wouldn't travel, 12, 13, 14 hours out there.
No. Yeah. If I had another reason to go, and it's during our season, so there's that.
Right. Doesn't Breeze fly direct Portland to Pittsburgh?
They might.
I think it was something weird. I was looking at direct flights. I love direct flights.
Interesting. It would be. I mean, if I were to go, it would be an excuse to see all the people in Pittsburgh who I haven't seen in 10 years or whatever.
When is this?
It's like late January.
So like that last weekend?
It's like a Saturday. It's like the last Saturday in January.
Yeah. So that's my. I'm going to escape to Florida for 4 days.
Oh, there you go.
Window. So
there you go.
It just as a getaway, just to break it up, because I used to go
March,
Super Bowl weekend.
Yeah.
Like I used to go Super Bowl weekend, like after like the Thursday, things would be finalized.
Mm-hmm.
I would do the brackets, usually from Reagan Airport.
Sure.
Okay. Or buy Wi-Fi on the plane and do the brackets there. And I just said them, they're done. I'm on a plane. Now I'm in Florida. Leave me alone. But I used to do that, but I want to be home potentially for Super Bowl Sunday this year.
Maybe. Yeah. I think though, if this thing were in like late March, like closer to the end of their season, then I would potentially consider going.
Well, they wouldn't go that late, would they?
They go. We won
late February.
We won it. It was during spring break.
Okay, so that'd probably be like end of February, but then that would be like state weekend.
When is spring break in college?
usually the second or third weekend. Maine, it's third weekend in March.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't be late March because it was before March, before the NCAA tournament, because we were NAIA.
Okay. Yeah, because usually like D2, D3, they wrap up 2 weeks before the Final Four.
Maybe it was late February. So yeah, so it wouldn't work. I thought it was nice that they invited me because I would have forgotten about
I think it is nice too. Yep.
I would have forgotten about the play-by-play guy for the radio station.
Yep.
So anyway.
Yeah, it's nice to be invited, but I don't think it's logistically feasible. Unless you can get a direct flight from Breeze.
But then that's a busy day anyway for this.
Right.
For all of this.
Yeah.
All right.
That's true.
All right, let's call it. It's 11:30 at night.
Cool.
We are approaching 2 hours. I should try to turn this around for tomorrow. What's the over-under on how much sleep I get?
-6. I think your sleep score is going to be 29.
I don't get a sleep score. I just get it tells me how many hours I slept or minutes.
Yeah, my Apple Watch is giving me a sleep score now.
Oh, okay.
I don't like it.
You don't like failing?
I don't like it. I don't like it. I said we sleep in March.
Yeah.
Well, I forget who I said that to.
Yeah. Maya Zewert, who's the editor at Lincoln County News, she got like a 90-something for a sleep score. I'm like, no, don't show me that. I don't need to see that. But
impossible. Then like even last night, I get in and I'm like, I'm just gonna go to bed, okay? And then I'm still getting to like 10:30. Did you see Prescott beat Caribou? And I'm like, yeah, I did. I'm not gonna respond to this tonight. Just leave me alone.
I thought last night because we were gonna record this last night, and then it was a shorter schedule. And I was like, okay, I'm going to power through this. I'm going to bang this out. I'm going to get to bed by like 12:30. Then all of a sudden, it looks like someone has forfeited. And I'm like, damn it. And so I'm trying to figure out if the Sumner girls forfeited to, was it Callis or somebody like that? Or Washington Academy, I think. And then there's a forfeit on the MPA site. There's a forfeit on Varsity Maine. There's a Facebook post that says, the game's postponed, and I'm just trying to get to the bottom of this, and then I got distracted with something else, and I ended up going to bed at like 1:30, 1:45, something like that.
Well, I don't have an answer for you.
So, and I don't know what happened here today. This is going to be...
I felt like this flew more than the girls one.
I know.
That was an hour and a half.
I know. I'm just thinking like, who knows what happened tonight in these other games that I have to write about.
This is just proving that the idea of nightly pods during tourney week is going to be a complete disaster.
But no, because during tourney week, I don't have to get up at 7 a.m.
That's true.
Because I don't have to go to my job. And all of the Portland games don't start till 1 p.m.
That's true.
So,
I don't know. I mean, we could. But I do like the idea of the pod that Friday night after the B-State Finals. Okay? Wherever hotel you end up being at.
Yeah.
Or we record at my home studio right here behind me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or we could be the last people in the gym. Okay.
If we could talk to them and
we'll lock up.
Get them to let us do that would be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to figure out what I'm doing for some tourney week stuff. It's the whole thing. I'll talk to you about that offline because I might need to pick your brain offline about something.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Okay.
We'll do it.
All right.
I think you should ask Robert Long.
Oh, dear
Ask
God.
him too.
All right. All right. That's it for the show. End recording.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the show. Thanks to Jay. Thanks to Vertical Rays for sponsoring this podcast once again. They are awesome. If you're going to need to fundraise for something, new uniforms, something, talk to them. They will hook you up. All right, that's the show. This has been a production of MaineBasketballRankings.com, your source for the most comprehensive coverage of Maine high school basketball from Ashland to York and everywhere in between. This podcast is available wherever you listen to podcasts and a bunch of places you don't. If you enjoy this, please leave a nice review because it really does help out with algorithms. Tell your friends, tell your enemies. Thanks for watching.